Welcome to the Tarleton State University Student Chapter of the Wildlife Society YouTube channel. Today, we will be going over legume ecology and identification. What are legumes? Legumes are plants that belong to the pea family, which is Fabaceae. This is a huge family consisting of around 670 genera, and they are found all across the world. The fruit of these plants are often a pod-like structure that contain the seeds on the inside of them. You can see in that picture on the right there's several pods that contain seeds in them. They can be anything from large trees to small forb-like plants. Lastly, and most importantly, legumes are nitrogen fixators. So let's talk a little bit about those pod-like fruits. These guys have dehiscent fruits that usually split along two seams. You can see that picture in the right. There's one pod in the center that's split open, and it's split on two different sutures. So there's a line down the middle and then lines on the outside. The picture on the left is the folded carpel where everything is still stuck together. The seeds will line the inside of the pod, and they can have any number of seeds on the inside. It just depends on the species. Some species never actually open naturally. These could be like peanuts and carobs. And these guys come in all variety of shapes, sizes, and colors. These are some examples of that. So we have three distinct pods from different legume species here. On the left, we have hyacinth bean or Lablab purpureus. These guys typically have really short, stocky bean pods that are like a bright purple color. You can see the actual seeds inside the pod there. There's only like anywhere from 4 to 5 within every pod. In the middle, we have a honey locust, which is Gleditsia triacanthos. These guys typically have a lot longer seed pods that consist of somewhere around 15 to 20 seeds. You can see that some of them are so long they even start to curl on themselves. They're typically a lot darker than our last species were too. The picture on the far right is Illinois bundleflower, which is Desmanthus illinoensis. These guys get their name from that cluster of seed pods they have there. You can see there's distinct different pods there that all contain around maybe 3 to 4 seeds in them that are just all clustered together like that. Nitrogen fixation. What is this? Nitrogen fixation is a chemical process where atmospheric nitrogen is assimilated into organic compounds. Nodules form on the roots of legumes where rhizobia bacteria grow. These rhizobia bacteria will convert atmospheric nitrogen into a more useful form of nitrogen, such as ammonia. In this picture on the bottom, you can see here, this is the root system of a legume species, and all of those little nodules that you see, that's where the rhizobia bacteria will grow. This is a diagram depicting the nitrogen cycle. So at the top there, we can see we have atmospheric nitrogen. Again, this is not really readily useful for a lot of our organic species. This will assimilate into the soil where it'll get in contact with those nodules on the root systems of legumes, and those rhizobia bacteria will take that atmospheric nitrogen and convert it into ammonia. From there, other plant species can take that ammonia that's been put in the soil and convert it into something else, a different form of nitrogen like nitrates and nitrites, and then other bacteria can then convert it back into atmospheric nitrogen, and that's how we get our complete cycle. The importance of nitrogen fixation. Nitrogen deficiencies are common in organic organisms as most of Earth's nitrogen is atmospheric nitrogen that we can't always use. Atmospheric nitrogen is not attainable for most of our plant species and organic organisms. Again, those rhizobia bacteria and some other forms of bacteria and prokaryotes can utilize it. Overall, these guys, they'll increase soil fertility through nitrogen fixation. Now we're going to go over some identification of native Texas legumes. So our first species, honey mesquite, which is Prosopis glandulosa, this is actually a tree legume. So like I said, they can be trees, shrubs, or even small forb-like guys. So these guys will grow 20 to 30 feet on average, but they can get much taller than that. They can get up to 50 feet even. They have these long white paired spines that are actually stipular spines, meaning they arose out of stipules. All along the stem there, you can clearly see in that top left picture. The leaves are actually long and slender leaflets that are paired, so you can see there's one whole leaf with those leaflets on it. These guys are common across most of Texas, especially here in north central Texas where Tarleton State University is located. Next we have showy partridge pea. This is Cami crista fasciculata. This is an example of a legume that is more small and forb-like. It only grows to about half a meter tall. These guys have bright yellow flowers, and again the leaves are small and narrowed leaflets that are paired. These guys can actually form a good food source for a lot of wildlife species such as northern bobwhite. Now we have roundhead prairie clover. This is Dahlia multiflora. I wanted to include this to show that our clovers are actually in our legume family, Fabaceae. This one is actually a native clover. A lot of the ones we're familiar with come from Europe or someplace else, but this guy is definitely native. It's found particularly in areas with limestone soil. It has pinnately compound leaves and a bright white inflorescence. And of course, we had to include the Texas bluebonnet. This is Lupinus texensis, the state flower of Texas. This subspecies of bluebonnet is actually endemic to Texas. They have bright blue inflorescences, palmately compound leaves with 5 to 7 leaflets, and the leaves themselves are a light green color with a faint white pubescent margin. Thank you guys so much for watching our videos. Please like and subscribe.